Hi guys, welcome to this live stream. I'm very excited to be here with you because today we're going to talk about something very interesting, differences between Mexico and Colombia. How does compare living in Mexico and Colombia? I think you're going to find something interesting because we can talk about cost of living, difference, how are really Mexicans and Colombian people, probably healthcare system, any questions that you want to ask. Right now, I'm in Colombia. I'm in a city called Manizales. I really like this city, and the reason of why I'm here is because I met a YouTuber who is living here in Manizales. Well, this YouTuber talks about this beautiful city, and my husband and I wanted to see if this was real. So we came here, and to our surprise, we found this city so beautiful. We've been having a great time, not only here in this city, but with this YouTuber. His name is Wesley, and actually, we are here in his house. So, Wesley, where are you?
Hello.
Come and sit down in your office, in your
Thanks.
city.
Thanks for inviting me to my own home.
So, okay, well, Wesley, tell me a little bit about you. Why are you living here in Colombia?
Yeah, so I'm an American. I'm originally from LA, Los Angeles, and I moved to Colombia 2.5 years ago. I went to Bogota. I lived a year in Medellin, and then I found myself here in Manizales. And yeah, I've been living here ever since. I have a YouTube channel that I talk about my life here. I make music. I'm a music producer. That's my main job. So that's how I make most of my money. And then last year I opened a restaurant here in Manizales as well. So yeah.
So you decided to live in Colombia, basically, and
Yeah.
open your business. You're married now with
Yeah.
a Colombian girl here
Yeah.
from
Would
Manizales.
you like to meet my wife? Venga.
If she wants, just.
Yeah. That's my wife. My wife. She's from here.
Ana
Manizales.
Maria.
Yeah.
Ana Maria.
Ana
So
Maria.
yeah, Ana Maria.
So,
Isimba.
and
your
our
dog.
dog here as well. But yeah, so that I have yeah, my life here is here in Colombia, and yeah, Karen, they reached out to us a little less than a month ago because
Yeah.
they saw my videos, and we became really good friends. And yeah, now they're here, and now they're happy to be here.
Yeah,
They want to
yeah.
live here forever. So
I was opportunity. We had the opportunity to meet your wife, your friends, people from your church too. So far we've been having a great experience, and we really like Manizales, and we can talk about that a little bit later on. But what about if we start by telling about a little bit of the differences between Mexico and Colombia?
in Colombia.
Um,
Sure. Yeah. Which what topic do you want to start with?
Okay, well, let's start to begin with a topic because so far we don't have any questions, right?
No questions.
That's
Yeah.
weird. So your live stream was going better.
Yeah.
You at the beginning you had a lot of questions, so
Yeah, prepared.
yeah.
So we can just tell them, like, if you guys have any questions about life in Colombia, leave it in the chat. We'll get
Yeah.
to it. We'll go through a list of like topics that we have already first,
Yeah.
and then whenever questions come up, we'll slowly answer them as they
Exactly.
go. Yeah.
So to start with this topic, I would love to tell you about something that's happening in Mexico. There's a news story in Mexico about a TikToker who spoke about how racist a restaurant was, or their policies were racist.
Okay.
So in the restaurant called Sonora Grill,
Uh-huh.
it's very popular, fancy, expensive.
Okay.
So they would sit white, lighter skinned people outside the restaurant on the terrace, something like that. And the people with darker skin, like me, the people in the restaurant or the waiters would sit them inside the restaurant.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So obviously there's a lot of controversy. It's very polemic. The restaurant obviously is saying that that's not true, but it's something that's happening in Mexico. And of course, there's a lot of people who obviously don't like this. And I want to ask you, first of all, what are your thoughts, and does that happen here in Colombia
Yeah.
or not?
So that's interesting. I hear that in Mexico, Mexico is very racist. Is that true? Do you guys think that Mexico is racist?
Yeah, we think. I do think Mexico is racist. Probably not the same way that the U.S. portrays racism,
Uh,
but yes, it is.
it is. Like
It
skin
is.
color is huge in
It's
Mexico.
huge in
It's
Mexico.
less here in Colombia. Colombia is not super racist in the like that. Is but Colombia is very classist. So let's say like they think that you're poor. It doesn't matter if you look like this or if you're light skinned like this. If you act like or they think that you're poor, they're gonna treat you a certain way. So it's not really much about color, as far as I can see. But Colombians are very racist to Venezuelan people. They're very, very racist.
Interesting.
They see Venezuelan people as like second class citizens. They think that they're only here to rob and to steal and to take all the money and stuff. And a lot of Colombians have bad experiences with
With
Venezuelan
Venezuelan
people.
people.
Yeah, so that's how it is here in Colombia. As an Asian person, I haven't experienced a lot of racism, honestly. People are very curious, which I'm sure it happens to you a lot in Mexico too. When they see you, they're like, "Oh my God, you speak Spanish."
No, not really. Nobody cares.
Really?
Yeah, nobody cares.
Okay.
That's weird. That's another issue as well, because probably you told us that they see you, you're an Asian guy here in
Yeah.
Manizales. Do you think it's because it's a small city here?
And Colombia doesn't have a lot of Asian people, so they're always very, curious about it. And because of the fact I can speak Spanish so well, a lot of times they're just like, "Well, what the heck? Like, what? Like, tell me." And they start asking me questions, right? But I don't feel like they treat me differently because I'm Asian. Racism here is, I don't think it's that big of a deal. But that's my thought personally. I don't know if that's true, but
I was talking to Dave about that yesterday, and I said probably it's because I'm just traveling and I'm just meeting random people, and those people are treating me well, but I don't feel. It's my perception. I have to say, it's my perception. I don't feel. I feel great. I don't feel that my color skin is a factor to treat me differently.
yeah. And here in Colombia too, there's such a big black population. So a lot of Colombians look just like you, and they have your same color.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I feel like here in Colombia too, when women look like you, they love that. They love the brown and the dark, and it's not like how in I think in Mexico, if you're lighter skin, you kind of get worshipped. Here, if you're moreno, people like the way you look too, and they like mujeres morenas acá. Like they not like a fetish, but it doesn't turn them off the way like it does in other countries.
That's interesting. That's one difference, definitely. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so far, do we have
Shall I
any
ask
questions?
ask you some questions? We've
that's
got some great ones coming in. Somebody says, Jeff says, as somebody who likes walking and doesn't want to own a car, which country has more walkable cities?
Oh, what do you think in Colombia?
I think Colombia is really good. The public transportation in Medellin is pretty good. Here in Manizales, it's excellent.
I have to say, I agree.
But in Bogota is so big that the public transportation there is actually really bad. So, but I would say in general, Colombia has pretty good public transportation. What's it like in Mexico?
I would say Mexico has great public transportation. Mexico City is very easy to metro, the subway.
They have a
very
metro.
cheap.
Okay.
Like 5 pesos is nothing.
Yeah.
There are a lot of buses in Mexico, overall in Mexico. So I don't have a car, for example.
Okay.
I don't feel I need it. But something that surprises me here in Colombia is that the cable car system.
Yeah.
We have in Mexico. There's one in Ecatepec. It's called. Honestly, I didn't know, but now that I know, I want to say that what I can see here in Bogota in Colombia is that we have here in Manizales one. You have in Medellin, in Bogota too.
Yeah.
What else? There's
Pereira has one too. Yeah, Pereira.
So here is becoming a normal means of transport, and it's fun. It's I don't know. It's easy. So.
Espera, amor, ¿puedes llamar a la chica para ver dónde está?
Sí, porque yo me asomé y no estaba aquí.
See, okay.
So I can definitely see that probably I like what Colombia is doing with their transport.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Okay.
So
Okay. Yeah. So Simi says, asking you, Wes, she's a single woman and she's interested in Medellin. What do you think it's like as a single woman?
Yeah.
For a single woman in Medellin.
I think Colombia is actually incredibly safe for women to travel. In Medellin, it's actually more unsafe for men. Men are usually targeted for robbings, for traveling, for druggings by women because a lot of men seek prostitution and drugs in Medellin. I would say as a woman, as long as you don't, you take care of your belongings, you don't dress super like extravagant. You know, if you're low key, nobody's gonna bother you. The only problem is that if you look European, and if you look like you're a foreigner, people are gonna assume you have money. So the secret is to look as low key as possible. But the fact that you're a woman is not gonna make things less safe for you. Like men don't really like harass you on the street. I don't know if you know.
No,
right?
definitely no.
Yeah.
And I have to say that something interesting that I found is that women can dress whatever they want to dress. Like they are just wearing a top. Like compared to Mexico, they are more liberal. I have to say, and I can see that men don't look at them. It's like
Yeah, I mean, it's just like normal.
Probably,
yeah, just normal. But it's not
Normal.
like men are gonna be bothering you. It's
No.
not like men are looking to sex traffic the women. No, that doesn't really happen here, right? I don't think it happens in Mexico too. But so yeah, as a female traveler, I actually think it's really safe here in Colombia.
Yeah, I agree.
A couple of people, Sharon and Boyd, are asking about the difference in the cost of living. So I don't know if you can compare the cost of some common things like how much do groceries cost in both countries, for example? How much a meal out in both countries?
Okay, cool. Yeah, here in Colombia, in Manizales, it's a smaller city, so I can get by with like $1,000 a month, and that includes my rent. My rent's about $350, and then the groceries cost about maybe $50-$60 a week, maybe. You know, average meal, breakfast is like $2, lunch is $5, dinner maybe is like $7, $8. It depends. So I would say $1,000 a month here in Manizales. In the big cities, Bogota, Medellin, probably like almost 2,000 to like 2,500 a month, and then you'll be living like really well. So,
Like per person, you mean? Like
No.
single person or?
That for me, 1,000 a month, that's enough for like my household. That's for my wife and I. I would say like, yeah, for a single person. In single person in Medellin, 1,500 a month, and then that's good enough.
Yeah. It depends on what you like to eat, where you like to go.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you can go very cheap, and it's the same way in Mexico. Probably Mexico, going to restaurants, it's a little bit more expensive than here in Colombia or
That's
in
true.
Manizales.
Yeah, that's true.
Breakfast, you don't find breakfast for $2. Definitely, you don't find those. A very basic lunch, probably you can find them for $3, but it's like menú del día, like something like that. But it can go very expensive, as expensive as you want. We are spending, probably we can live very well 1,000 with $1,000 in Querétaro. Probably we could do it, but we would feel we are limiting ourselves, right?
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
It's possible, but so far we are spending more money.
We spend about double that.
Double.
2,000.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but that's good. I think that's still like pretty cheap considering in the U.S. it's like $5,000, $6,000 a month average, right?
Yeah, it's true. So, is there any?
Yeah,
Why don't we see the questions?
I don't know. They should be coming up here, shouldn't they?
Yeah, you don't see them. But okay.
Okay. Well, I'll just read them out and okay. So somebody was asking about the visa, and I know Wes has had a visa issue. And
I've had a lot of
Yeah.
Okay, so what specifically? Like, what are the visa
Well, it
options?
just says, is it difficult to get a visa?
In Colombia, no. They just recently made a new one called the Digital Nomad Visa. If you make about $1,000 a month, you can apply for that. You get 2 years here, but it doesn't count towards residency. And but yeah, you can come in as like a tourist. The tourist visa is very generous. If you overstay your tourist visa, you just have to pay a small fine, but it's not even that big of a deal. They're really lenient about it. And now I'm married, so I have a marriage visa. And yeah, I hope.
Okay. And Karen, do you know about Mexico?
Not really. I haven't.
Yeah,
I don't
'cause you-
need a visa.
You should probably answer
Yeah,
this.
you can. You can
Okay,
answer.
I'll come here. So in in Colombia from next year, I understand there'll be a digital nomad visa. So if you're working online, you can prove your income, then you can get a visa. That already exists in Mexico if you're earning about $2,500 a month.
Oh, okay.
So it's quite high.
Wow.
The requirements, but that does exist.
Mm.
And generally you'll get 6 months as a tourist in Mexico. So a lot
Okay.
of people just come.
Yeah, it's the same here. I think it's 6 months as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
We've got a question that I really like because I think there's somebody who likes one of my favorite YouTube channels, not just bikes, which I've been showing you, Karen.
Mm-hmm.
How would you compare the urban planning of Mexico, Colombia versus the car-centric zoning approach in the majority of American cities?
That's a great
It's a
Oh
good
my!
question.
I think you have more experience with
Yeah. Okay.
that question because
Sure.
I haven't been to America, but.
So, U.S. is so unique that when you're in a residential area, you're in a residential area. There are no shops or anything. You have to have a car to do everything, right? Something I love about here, and pretty much anywhere in the world, is that most places have like the pharmacy is literally in the corner. If you want to like go shopping, there's like a corner restaurant. If you want to buy some fruits and stuff, you can just walk a block and then you'll be able to find something, right? That's something that I really love about Colombia, and just like most countries in general, you know.
In Latin America, right?
Yeah, in Latin America. Well, I think it's the same in Europe too, right?
In Europe, of course.
Yeah, the U.S. is just an anomaly that like everything is built for cars and you have to drive everywhere, which is kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But so as far as infrastructure goes, so I think U.S. has better infrastructure in general. You know, the public transportation, at least in LA, wasn't that good, but like the roads are always well maintained and the government takes a good care of that. Here in Colombia, unfortunately, the roads are really bad. And they're always doing construction. It always gets done. It never gets done on time. I don't know if it's the same in Mexico, but yeah, like the infrastructure here in general is actually pretty bad.
Yeah, it's the same in Mexico. Like you said, that if you want to buy groceries, you can walk and find a vegetable stall, market, and that's something that I really like about Mexico. But it's interesting because in the city where I'm living, they are building long roads and they are building fraccionamientos, they call like condominiums.
Okay.
Like suburbs, like gated
Suburbs.
communities.
Okay, yeah.
Far away from everything. So
Ah.
they're building shopping centers, malls. It's far away. I don't go to those places because it's very far. I don't have a car. I don't want to go to those places, and that is sad because it's making people's life more difficult.
Yes, right.
But it's interesting because some people in Mexico like that.
It's
Like the idea of having a big house in a fraccionamiento and having a pool, and I can understand that why the houses are beautiful,
Right.
but if you don't have a car, you
kinda
can
screwed.
exactly you can live there.
Yeah, I don't like that either because like so the cool thing about Colombia is that we all live on top of each other, right? Like the buildings are like having your own
Like
house.
this.
Yeah, like the houses are all next to each other. They're all built into it, so it's like a
Let
community.
me show. Let's see.
Right. Yeah. You can see like there's just houses all over, and then there's a pharmacy literally down the street. Yeah, it's hard to see.
Yeah. So hopefully we answer the question.
And I like that. I like it when like you live in a community because I feel like you actually can know your neighbors and it feels lived in. Whereas just
exactly
right,
yeah.
and then the rest like the U.S. style things. I understand having a big house, but if you can't hang out with your community, I feel like that's so boring. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, for example, here that's something that I like about this city is that we can just walk and we can just pop in your house.
Yeah, exactly.
And also the other day we went to the center and downtown area, and on the way back, they've told me we should get a taxi, and the taxi were busy, so I said let's take a bus instead. And it was pretty easy, right? Super simple, easy, and I like that.
Yeah, no, me too. Yeah, I like that.
Okay, good question here. How is the weather in December in Colombia, but also
In Mexico.
In Mexico,
Okay, Your
Yeah,
first?
December here is actually summer. So here in Manizales it rains a lot, but in December it does almost doesn't rain at all. It's clear, it's open, it's beautiful,
Mm.
and it's funny because in December that's when all the schools are out. It's like their summer vacation, and because it's also Christmas and Colombia has a lot of holidays, it's like a whole entire month of just partying. And so here in December it's really nice in Latin America.
Okay. It's similar. There's a lot of celebrations in Mexico too. In December, starting from December, and it depends, of course, on the city where you are. If you're on the beach, you're gonna have hot weather. Well, not hot, warm weather. If you're in a city in the central area of Mexico, it gets chilly. It gets a little bit cold. Like it, we can be at 0 degrees Celsius, which is
That's
uh,
freezing. Yeah, that's
that's
freezing.
freezing. But it only lasts for about probably the most cold days. We're gonna have them just for 2 weeks. It's not too much.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's fun. There's a lot of celebrations too.
Okay, a couple of people have been asking about blonde women. How are blonde women perceived in like different Latin American countries?
How are they perceived,
Or like
if
are they
there are blonde
harassed
women?
or like how?
Oh, no.
Because
How
they
there's-
look different.
I guess.
Yeah. Here in Colombia, there's a huge white population, especially here in the Paisa region. So if you look blonde, if you speak Spanish, people will assume you're Colombian. They're not gonna think. I mean, I would say like it's exotic. There's a lot of the men here that like that look, but it's not like you're gonna have a problem. In what sense? Like,
Well, yeah, I'd seen from the tone of the messages. I guess people maybe they're blonde women and they're a bit concerned about traveling.
And because
okay.
they look different, probably.
Well, maybe,
Alright.
maybe they think they look different. Like here,
okay, I'm gonna tell you right now, you're not gonna look more different than the way I look.
Yeah.
It's not a problem.
Yeah.
It's not a problem.
I think in Mexico is the same way. There's a lot of blonde women who are already living in Mexico. Women who are making her life in Mexico. It's common to see a woman from other country speaking Spanish, and they say, "I've been living here for 10 years, 15 years." So it's getting more normal. If
Yeah.
you are talking about dating, you're gonna get more attention, probably.
You're gonna get a lot. Yep, you're gonna get a lot of attention.
okay, here's a controversial one for you. Thoughts on the words Latinx? Go.
What?
Latinx.
Again, sorry.
Latinx.
But what was the?
What are your thoughts? It just says thoughts on the word Latinx.
I think it's a non-issue. Like there's so many other things that we should be talking about, and when I hear shit like that, I'm like, we're really gonna talk about this? Are you serious? Like really? This is dumb. Sorry.
Do you want me to answer?
You can answer, yes. It's a valid
I don't know.
question.
Well, I would answer like an overall opinion. In Mexico, there are divided opinions. Probably a year ago, the word Latinx was a word that people didn't want to accept, and there's a lot of people who think that way because they think the language is a language. So if you want to say Latino or Latina, it's fine, but there are people against changing the language.
Wait, what is Latinx? What does that mean?
Like to be more inclusive, you don't say, because in Spanish we just say, for example, let's say los Latinos, including men and women, and instead of saying that, we should say Latinx.
I think that's dumb.
Yeah. And as a Spanish teacher, I have to say the language is important. So,
Exactly, yeah.
So I would always teach él, ella, Latino, Latina. So.
That's,
Okay. So we've got some notes that Karen made earlier that I'll remind you about. Cultural topics. Mexicans can't say no.
Mm-hmm.
Would you expand on that?
Okay. Well, this as a Mexican, I want to explain a little bit more this, and I want to hear your opinion too, because you've been living here. You have a lot of. I think your friends are all Colombians.
they're all Colombians, yeah.
So in Mexico, it's very common. They say that foreigners say that Mexicans are very friendly. and it's true. But sometimes they, as a Mexican, including myself, we can't we can't say no. For example, if you tell me we should go to let's go to a restaurant tonight, and I say okay, yes, I see you there, and then 1 hour earlier I cancel because I'm just making an excuse because at the beginning I didn't want to go, but I didn't want to hurt your feelings.
Okay, yeah.
And it's common that happens in Mexico. I want to ask you.
Here I say the problem is not that they can't say no. It's more, well, kind of. It's like, okay, so Colombian people are really good at giving directions and helping, right? And even though Colombian people, they don't know, they'll say that they know and try to pretend that they know and then try to give you bad directions instead of just saying like, no. Have you guys experienced that? Or?
I think that's different. Yeah, in that situation we say we don't know.
Okay.
We don't know. But for example, I was watching a video about Colombian people. This guy was American, and he was saying that he has a Colombian friend, a woman, and he was saying that Colombian people share the food all the time.
All the time, yeah.
But this woman, when she really liked something that she didn't want to share, she would go to a room, a private room, or a bathroom because she wanted to have her food for herself.
Yeah, that's true. Colombians are they share everything. If you see the way Colombians eat, I don't know if you guys noticed too when you guys were here. It's always just like.
Do you want to try?
Do you want to try? Do you want to try?
That's true. That's true. And I think in Mexico is similar, but not as much as here as in Colombia.
Okay.
So.
Kyle says, as he's married to a Mexican woman,
cool.
He says they
What's
can
up, Kyle?
say no.
They can't say
He says they definitely can say no.
I know them. But they went to Querétaro.
Okay.
So they're very nice.
Yeah, they're very nice. Okay, so this is a good question. I don't know if you'll be able to answer it exactly, but maybe you could give some thoughts on the topic. So Jeff says, do you think cost of living in Mexico is increasing faster than in Colombia because Mexico is closer to the US? So I don't know how your
great question.
Yeah, economics knowledge is, but maybe you could share your thoughts on.
I would say yes, right? It is more expensive.
I agree.
Than Mexico.
Yeah. I agree. Probably one is because Mexico is just next to the USA, and something probably that's happening now that there's a lot of remote works jobs. Sorry.
Okay.
Is that probably it's easier for an American just to fly to Mexico rather than Colombia. I'm talking about location. And then they go to Mexico, and well, we talked about that before, gentrification. There's something happening in Mexico. Mexican people are raising prices in big cities in Mexico because a lot of foreigners are arriving there. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm just saying what's happening.
Right.
And yeah, the cost of living is increasing. Definitely. What are your thoughts?
I think so. Yeah. I think in Colombia it's still very cheap to live, and the dollar is very strong. Medellin is getting more popular, but it's I don't think it's the same level as it is in Mexico City.
No,
Mexico is still
so.
more popular. Yeah. And when people go to want to go traveling from the U.S., they more think of Mexico than Colombia. So I think Mexico is just a more popular destination.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, you don't hear even Mexican people ask me, why are you going to Colombia? Why?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, because it's nice. There's a lot of things to see in Colombia too. So yeah, it's true. It's true what you're saying.
Okay. Timmy says there have been lots of reports and videos on increasing frustration towards foreigners moving to Mexico City.
Yeah.
Have you witnessed it, Karen? And also, Wes, is there anything similar?
Right.
In Colombia?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, as we started talking about the news that something that's happening in Mexico. Sorry, I'm getting confused. Yeah, it's true. It's true. There's actually a lot of. There's a situation where Mexicans are complaining about foreigners coming to Mexico, and because of that reason, everything is getting expensive. More in Mexico City. Areas like Condesa, Roma Norte are getting expensive, which is true. It's very expensive. But they were always expensive before. So I would say, me as a Mexican, yes, that could be a factor, but we shouldn't be blaming foreigners for that. Mexicans are the ones who are raising the prices, who are taking advantage. As we actually talked in your live stream, that, for example, if your business, what would you do if you all of a sudden had all the time a lot of demand in your business?
Yeah, and a bunch of foreigners came. Yeah, I would change the prices too, and I would charge them more money so I can get more money.
Me too. Yeah. That's something that happens, and there's a change. There's a chain. There's a lot of factors. What is the government doing to help the other people? Because there's a lot of is it a word disparity or
disparity.
There's a lot of disparity in Mexico, and that's a problem. Mexicans are getting mad because there's a lot of poor people.
As far as Colombia, Colombians are very happy that foreigners are coming because they bring a lot of money and opportunity. Colombians hate foreigners because most foreigners only come for sex and women, and that's all that they show about Colombia. So a lot of the frustrations that Colombian has with foreigners isn't with gentrification. It's with the fact that foreigners come and take advantage of the people and the women here, and paint Colombia in a certain light. But in general, I feel like Colombia is very open and they're very friendly to foreigners still.
Maybe, do you think it is it because it's not getting gentrified as much as Mexico?
Yeah, maybe. But because in Colombia, it's only in Medellin, really. Like in the other country, in the other cities, you don't really see foreigners that much. So it's hard to say. Maybe in 10 years, it'll be like that. But right now, I feel like, no, it's still pretty chill.
Yeah.
Okay. Eric, I know you know well. He says hello, and he says he hopes you're having a lovely time in Colombia.
Thank you very much. Hello.
So I think I know the answer to this, but Rem's asking, what is the best city to live in Mexico, but also in Colombia? Safe, good infrastructure, etc.
Okay, you first.
I think the best city to live in Colombia is Manizales. Obviously, it's literally like Colombians. This is the best livable city according to Colombians in Colombia. It has good public transportation. It's still cheap. It's the safest city in Colombia. There's access to nature. It's a well-developed city. We have good internet. So out of all of Colombia, Manizales is the best to live. But it's not foreigner friendly because if you don't speak Spanish, it's hard to get by.
It's gonna get hard. Yeah.
It's very, very difficult. So, but that's here in Colombia.
I agree. That's why we're here. We feel very comfortable here in Manizales. It feels we don't see a lot of foreigners actually. No, it's not common. It's small, but there's a lot of things to do here around here. We have the hot springs. There's a lot of nature, and that's nice.
Yeah, it's just nice to live. If you're looking for something to do, like a city, Manizales is not the place.
Exactly.
But if you want to live and chill for a month and just kind of relax, like Manizales,
this would be a good place.
Yeah, to raise kids too. Yeah, I think it's a good place to raise kids.
Yeah, and in Mexico, I would say. I'm trying to think. In Querétaro, the city where I live is very well known because it's safe too. One of the safest cities in Mexico. It's beautiful. It's very colonial. It's attracting a lot of foreigners. You'll see it's common to see foreigners in the city. Super common. So you can live there and not knowing English because we have friends who don't speak Spanish, and it's fine. But there's a lot of people who go to Guadalajara, to Mexico City as well, to the south of Mexico, Mérida. What other city would you say?
Oaxaca,
I think is quite safe. Yeah, the state isn't known. I think the state has some issues, but the city itself,
it's very safe.
As far as I know, is quite safe. Yeah, it's also becoming very popular.
I heard.
With foreigners. Good food. Reese has a very good question, which isn't a question, but he says he will speak Spanish soon because he's taking classes from La Cadencita.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, you didn't talk, Reese, and after one class, you started talking.
Good for you. Good
No,
for
no,
you.
no. Yes, I know you, Reese. Actually, Reese was in your live stream too.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, you've been taking the conversational course. I hope you are enjoying it. And actually, I want to take an opportunity to mention my courses. I have a course to, if you don't speak Spanish, I will give you the essential tools if you want to travel to Mexico or Colombia, and how to buy at the market, or how to have the basic phrases that you need to talk to ask for directions. But if you know a little bit more than that, I also have conversational courses for you. The idea is to get you speak faster without, yeah, with, there will be a little bit of grammar, but it's not where I don't focus on grammar a lot. So, book now.
I put the
Trabajo
link.
in Spanish.
I put the link in the chat.
TrabajoinSpanish.com.
Yeah, thanks, Reese. Thanks for stopping by. And thanks for commenting on my channel all the time, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And how easy do you think it is to live in your respective places if you didn't know Spanish?
Mm.
I think in Manizales it's hard. It will be really hard.
So, did you know Spanish before coming to Colombia?
No, I know zero. I learned in Medellin, and then when I got good at Medellin, that's afterwards I moved to Manizales because I was able to survive on my own. But when I first came to Colombia, I went to Medellin because I could barely speak Spanish.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I think it would be difficult.
Yeah.
And also, there's a lot of good experiences that you experience if you speak the language. So it's always good.
Yeah.
And in Mexico, well, I don't know. You tell me.
I can speak Spanish.
But would you be able to survive if, well, not survive, but yeah, how would you feel in Mexico if you didn't speak Spanish?
I wouldn't. A lot of people live in Querétaro and they can't speak Spanish and they seem okay. But I think, one, you're not going to find it as easy to make friends, and you're going to miss out on a lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
that's a big one. You're not going to get the same experience if
Yeah.
you don't speak Spanish.
And also, you're just always going to be like asking people for help, like, oh, can you help me call the internet company? Can you help me call my landlord?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it makes you like
That's a good
vulnerable.
point.
And
That's a good point.
Yeah. Here's a good question. Somebody else asked, what is the opinion of Mexican Americans here? Or like, are there a lot of Colombian Americans here? Karen's done a video on this. Maybe you could give a short overview of what you
Interesting.
found.
Okay. Well, let me tell you a little bit of the what's the situation in Mexico. It's interesting because Mexican Americans in Mexico, there are a lot of people in Mexico, Mexicans who say sometimes don't accept,
That's
don't
what I heard.
receive very
That's
well
what I heard, yeah.
Mexican Americans because they say, well, you are not Mexican. And then we have some friends, they are Mexican Americans, and they told us how they feel traveling around Mexico, and they've told us also how they feel in the United States. There's some problems there too.
Yep.
So I don't know. Yeah, the question is how.
Here in people accept American people like pretty well. I would say like it doesn't matter if you're Colombian American or Asian American. Like they just treat foreigners. They treat outside people really well here. Colombians are very friendly. There's not that divide because I've heard that in Mexico too. Like there's a divide between like the actual Mexican people and Mexican Americans. It's like you're not a real Mexican, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't exist here. Like I feel like you don't really see that. It's not a problem.
Interesting.
That's a good question.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Actually, I just want to say that I know I have a guy who's living. He's Mexican American. Well, a guy watching my videos. He is Mexican American and he's living in Medellin. He was actually commenting on this live stream before.
Augustine? Oh, August?
I don't remember
Okay.
his name. But he said that, I would like to read his opinion. If you are here in this chat, let us know. How do you feel in Colombia?
Okay.
Okay, any other question? Because we don't see the question, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, but yes, I have questions. So, Simi's asked you, Wes, because you're a musician, how do you find the music scene in Manizales and in Medellin?
Ah, okay. En Medellín es pretty much. ¿Cómo? No, pero solo mi celular si lo tienes. Ah, okay, listo. Yeah, in Medellin it's pretty much reggaeton. That's it. You just hear reggaeton literally for every single corner. Manizales, it's a college town, so there's a lot of reggaeton here. But to be honest, I don't really follow the music scene too much. I like Colombian music. I like vallenato's pretty good, salsa, merengue, bachata. But no, I mean I don't have a lot to say on that if I'm being honest.
From my perception, there's a lot of reggaeton
Yeah.
in Colombia. But salsa too, because in Mexico salsa, it's difficult to find places where you're gonna find salsa.
Really?
Yeah.
What do they merengue or bachata or what do they play?
It's at least in the center of Mexico. You have to go to a specific club, and it's not common like here. We are in a small city, and there's a lot of places to go to dance salsa. I don't know, merengue, vallenato, everything.
Right.
Yeah, Mexico is more. They like what music from the United States, like more pop,
okay.
alternative.
Oh, it's interesting.
In Cumbia?
And cumbia, Mexican cumbia. Oh, and banda, of course. We have our own style, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, but salsa is Mexicans don't dance salsa.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought you guys did, but I guess
No. So, is there any other question?
Yes. So, I know Mexico has a very rich and diverse food culture. Is it the same in Colombia?
Not at all. Well, kind of. Because the Colombian food in the coast, is way different. It's a lot more seafood heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Here in the Paisa region, it's a lot of meat. It's a lot of arepa, a lot of corn.
Yeah.
But in general, I would say like Colombian food is not very diverse. And I think you said the same, right?
Yeah, I said the same. There's a lot of variety, and
Yeah.
there's no spiciness. There's no chili.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to find
that's
chili.
true.
Yeah. So yeah, I miss my chili and my spiciness.
Yeah.
You too. You like.
Yeah, I love spicy, and I have a restaurant here, so they cook it the way I like it. But Colombian food in general, the hot sauces aren't even as good. They just don't hit the same.
Yeah, they don't hit the same.
It's just not the same.
Yeah.
So George says that he's asking about the Sonora Grill incident. Have you experienced anything similar in Colombia?
Actually, well, we already mentioned that. You were saying that you think my color skin wouldn't be a problem.
No.
Because actually can you tell me?
Yeah. So here in Colombia, if you're like dark skinned, they're not gonna treat you differently.
Mm-hmm.
But if they hear you and they you're Venezuelan, yes, they will treat you differently. So that's a crazy thing, right? Because Venezuelans, a lot of them look Colombian, but just by the way that they talk, they that's how people can tell that they're Venezuelan.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's interesting because it's similar what's happening in Mexico, because a lot of people from Venezuela are settling down here. Colombian people, well, maybe there's a lot of other factors involved,
right?
But Colombian people don't like the fact that they are here, maybe because
they just have a lot of bad stereotypes about Venezuelan people, which is unfortunate because I've met a lot of really good ones. But I've had some bad experiences with Venezuelan workers as well. But it's crazy because I always tell, when my Colombian friends talk badly about Venezuelan people, I always say that how you Venezuelan people is how Americans view Colombians. Mm-hmm. Americans think that Colombians are like all gold diggers or are all poor or are lazy, all these things.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, well, that's not true. But then Colombians think the exact same thing about Venezuelan people, and I don't think that's true either. So.
That's a good point. And in Mexico, though, there's a problem with the color skin. Definitely, there's a problem. I think we're having a change now. But if you see the TV, if you go to the streets and you see the what's the word, advertisements,
Uh-huh.
you'll see white people all the time, and that's not true. There's a lot of morenos in Mexico. It's the majority of people, I would say, are morenos, and I don't remember a specific situation where I felt discriminated, but I actually made a video about that. All my life, I've been growing with a mindset more than when I was a child that having white skin, lighter skin was
Better.
better.
Hey,
Yeah.
that sucks.
So, and if I thought that way, it's because my surroundings probably were thought the same way. So yeah, so there's something weird with
Yeah.
that topic. Yeah, but yeah,
Interesting.
it happens in Mexico. It's something that unfortunately, uh, yeah,
Yeah, that
it's
sucks.
happening in Mexico.
That's so sad, yeah. But here in Colombia, I feel like because the most people are moreno like you. Like I think I said it earlier. Like a lot of people like that color skin. If you're a guy or a girl, people will be like, "Oh wow, that person's attractive," regardless of what their skin color is. You know.
Exactly.
And, yeah, I don't know if you notice. I mean, here there's there's a lot of lighter skinned people in like advertisements, but I also feel like there's a lot of brown people in advertisements too.
Yeah, yeah, and well, I think we talked about this before, but I haven't felt that difference because I'm darker skin or something like that.
Right.
The people are very friendly, and I don't know. I feel that feels great.
Yeah, it's
That
nice.
feels great. So yeah.
Okay. Something that's a little bit more relaxed. What are your favourite Spanish accents?
I like the Paisa accent a lot. Yeah.
I don't know. I like the Paisa accent too.
Yeah. What do you guys think of Spanish, like from Spain?
Oh my god. Do we have Spanish people watching this live stream?
Yeah.
Well, usually, I like Paisa Spanish better.
Yeah, I like spicy.
And Mexican Spanish better.
I think Spanish, like from Spain, but dude, I don't know. It just sounds so pretentious and it sounds so like gross, you know. And when they speak, it just sounds like they have a speech impediment. So I'm just like, I don't like it, bro. I like Latin Spanish way better than I do like Spanish.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I don't know if that happens with English, but some people I've met from when I was living in Vietnam, for example, there were a lot of Spanish people living there,
Okay.
and there was only this kind of ego with them saying that their Spanish was the correct Spanish.
Yeah.
And I also, because I teach Spanish, I have an Instagram account in Spanish, and I receive comments like, "Oh my God, you don't speak. Are you saying you're a teacher and you speak that way? You don't speak the proper Castellano." They call it.
Okay.
And
So it's like a supremacist kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. I answered, well, this is the way a lot of we speak in Latin America, actually, not only in Mexico, in Latin America. So yeah, I don't like that. That thing.
But you didn't answer the question. What do you think is the nicest accent?
Overall,
Yeah.
I really like the Paisa accent.
I think the Paisa accent is nice. What about you? What do you think?
Yeah, as well. But when I was on the coast, that was like I got used to that. That's quite cool. Like I don't know, it's fast. It feels tropical and stuff.
The coastal accent started pegging.
Pegging.
Me pegó. So, it's because it's nice when they speak. It's like they just. ¿A dónde vamos? Yeah. It's like so relaxed and chill. I like talking like that too. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a difficult question because Mexican Spanish has a lot of interesting and fun, cool phrases.
Yeah.
That you use them.
Yes,
here in Colombia.
I do use. Yeah.
So it's cool. I think it's cool. I think we have cool phrases in Mexico, but the intonation here in this area is really cool.
It is nice. It's very easy to understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any strange things about Spanish in here that you've noticed?
Yes, of course. There's a lot of phrases that I didn't know, that we didn't understand. for example, in Mexico, you know that we say que chido, que padre.
Sí, yeah.
This is the most common. What do you say here?
No mames? No. Oh, no.
No mames.
I say that a lot. I say that a lot.
You say that a lot, and that's Mexican.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's funny because even your friends say no mames because of you.
Oh, because of me, yeah. I would say the common phrases here like chévere, bacano, ¿qué más? ¿Todo bien?
¿Qué más is like what's up? ¿Qué onda in Mexico?
Pues, they use pues a lot
Pues
here.
a lot.
Cierto, we use cierto a lot here.
That's a good one because people here, including you, say all the time cierto. No, I don't know an example.
¿Qué vamos a comer? Ay, no, hoy está haciendo buen día, ¿cierto?
Cierto. And in Mexico we say a lot verdad.
Verdad. Yeah, that's true.
¿Verdad? No, but actually it's verdad, like raising the
¿Verdad?
tone. Yeah, and here it's like cierto.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, the tones change.
Bacano, chimba, which is
chimba.
in some places is like a rude word to say, but then like it's in the paisa area, it's very common.
Chimba.
My, which is like parcero, right?
Parcero.
That's like amigo. ¿Qué hubo, my? ¿Qué hubo? ¿Qué hubo is like what's up?
What's up? ¿Qué hubo? In Mexico we say ¿qué hubo too.
Really?
Yeah, ¿qué hubo? ¿Qué hubo way? ¿Qué hubo way? That's different.
¿Qué hubo? ¿Qué hubo pues?
¿Qué hubo pues? Parcerita, your parcerita.
Mi parcerita.
Is there? So, yeah.
No? Okay.
She doesn't want to go.
Okay. And Karen has a note here to mention dating tips and red flags in both countries. I don't know if they're the same. Or...
Yeah. As Karen, who I'm sure has dated a lot.
Okay, you first. How have you felt?
Dating here is nice. The women here are amazing. Colombian women are world known for being beautiful and being great wives, and it's true. My wife is amazing. You just have to respect their culture, learn Spanish, and just don't be arrogant, and don't assume that they're gonna treat you well just because you're a foreigner. If you respect their culture and you learn the language and you treat their family well, they're gonna love you and they're gonna open you they're gonna welcome you with open arms. But a lot of foreigners come here to like, oh, I'm a foreigner. Colombian women are gonna love me, right? And just because they have money, and then they come and they end up getting played. So, yeah.
And how would you know if that woman just wants you because of your money? How would you know that? Or is it difficult or?
I don't know. I think it's if you are like if you're a good person and you had so a lot of people come here and they think that just because how do I say this? I didn't have any luck in my home country, so I'm going to my luck's gonna be a lot different here.
Yeah.
You know, I just didn't like my options in the States. When I traveled through Europe and I traveled through the States, I hooked up with a lot of girls, but that's not the value that I was looking for. I wanted a relationship, and I couldn't find someone who had the relationship values. So I came to Colombia. I still had the same amount of success, but just the women had the same values that I have, right? I'm very traditional. I'm very religious. I believe man's a man, woman's a woman. So, I came to Colombia and that fit more with me rather than, the progressiveness of the West. So I think hopefully that helps. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know. In Mexico?
I don't know.
I've been married. I've been married for 4 years, but before that, I think it's the same. Is if you're a foreigner and you go to Mexico, you're gonna find it's easy to find a partner.
Yes.
So, I told you before that I have a friend. She's from Europe, and she said that she finds Mexican men more gentlemen. Gentlemen.
Yeah.
So she likes that. She likes that a lot. Foreign men. I also have a lot of Mexican women friends that who are married with foreign men, and that's very common to see.
Yeah.
So we are open in Mexico.
I think it's about you have to respect their culture.
Yeah.
A lot of foreigners come in okay, I want a Colombian woman, but she has to respect. She has to be an American. Like she has to be American culture.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's like that doesn't make any sense. If you go to Colombia or Mexico today, you'd be like, okay, I want a Colombian woman or Mexican woman with her Colombian and Mexican values, right? And you have to respect them for the way that they are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, is there any other question or should we finish here? We're about to finish, guys, so it's time to drop your questions now. And if not, it's time to go.
Yeah, that's about it. I think you've answered everybody's questions.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
So
Yeah,
it was
so-
great.
Yeah, it was great. My channel is called Where's Wes.
Yeah.
If you guys want to follow that. If you want to listen to my music, it's Wesley Thomas, Wesly Thomas with an H on all the social media platforms. But YouTube is my main thing right now. If you want to, I talk about my faith a lot. I talk about my life here in Colombia. I do some opinion stuff, but mostly it's about Colombia and my life here. So if you guys would like to check that out. If you guys have any questions, personally, shoot me an email on, shoot me a message on Instagram at Wesleazy. And yeah, I can answer anything else that you guys have.
Yeah. Also, your channel is on the title, so you can just click there and you're gonna answer.
Perfect. Cool.
Okay, if that's it, thank you very much for being here, guys.
Bye.
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 Okay, we are still here. Okay, listo.